In this nitty-gritty Let's Play live stream, we're going to be playing American Mah Jongg at Mahjong Time. Hopefully, we have construction going on today, and it is loud. So I'm hoping that the noise will not keep us from doing this episode. If it is bad, we may need to cancel. And then just hope for the best as this goes along. Oh, this construction is going to be going on for 3 months. So we're going to continue to do these live streams because the show must go on, and we'll do the best we can. So I ask you for your patience. I don't know if you can hear any noise. At the moment, it's quiet, but it's going really well. But man, today is noisy. Oh my gosh, I had a meeting earlier and we actually had to stop and wait several times because it was so loud. They're taking out a wall today down there. They're modifying the stairwell, and it's right underneath. Did you hear that? It's right underneath my office. Well, my office is the dining room, so it's right at my feet. So let me know if you can. Did you hear that? I have a noise canceling webcam, I think. So hopefully you can't hear it. And it's really more about me being able to handle the noise. Were you able to hear that noise just there? Right there. Did you hear that? Is that going to be a problem? It may just be on my side because I'm here, of course. Okay, we're gonna continue, and then I'll just try to keep my eyes on chat. A sawzall. You didn't hear it. Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna keep going. So if I make funny faces, it's because of the noise. Oh no. Oh, should we do this or should I cancel? Oh my goodness. You know what I wonder if we should do this week? Maybe even for, maybe what we should do through this construction is do these live streams at night. Do the live streams from 6 to 8 until we get through construction. Sometimes they're not even here though. I asked them for a list of noisy times or maybe their construction days. I don't even know if they know. Why do they call it construction? It is destruction. Oh my gosh. It will be how do you want to deal? I don't know. Okay, let's do this. Sound like a jelly green giant tooting on your end. Okay, so let's do this. Let's try. We're going to try to do this and just pretend like that noise does not exist. What do you say? Oh. Let me hear what it sounds like on my iPad. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, wait.
The most affordable 12-month GLP-1 program with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy for the most affordable 12-month GLP-1 program with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy for the most affordable 12-month GLP-1 program with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy for the most affordable 12-month GLP-1 program with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy for
what?
What the heck?
What? I can't do it. Okay. All right, let's just try it. And then if it just is more than I can bear, we'll cancel. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to listen on my iPad, but there was feedback. Okay, we're going to give it a try. All right. So today, I first want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my videos and for sharing about MAHJLIFE with your friends. The more the merrier. We want everybody to play the game with confidence because then we'll all have more fun. I also want to say thank you to our channel moderators for helping monitor the chat today. This is a nitty-gritty format, even though we've had a little bit of discussion about this noise in real life, but we're going to do our best to focus on the topic, which today is all about pacing yourself, strategy by wall. This is one of my fundamental strategies for playing this game. It has helped me immensely. When I first heard about it, it changed my outlook on the game. And then I was able to go deeper once I got this concept into my playing style. So let's get started. Okay, I'll just go with that. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna alternate between the presentation and a game with robots at Mahjong Time, because we're gonna take a phased approach here. So we're gonna alternate, and then time permitting, we'll actually play with people, one game at a time. So let's give this a go. So a phased approach to playing the game using strategy by wall. I want to give a shout out first to Tom Sloper, because this is where I learned about the concept. I read his book, The Red Dragon and the West Wind. And it's a book that explains how to play American Mah Jongg and also Cantonese Mahjong with Hong Kong old style scoring, I believe. So it's kind of a hybrid book. But in there, he described strategy by wall, and it really helped me understand how to pace yourself in a game. I loved it. And so I added my own tactics to it, which is why this is called Hoptoi's strategy by wall. The idea is that you compartmentalize tactics based on the wall in play. So when you first set up the walls, East will roll the dice and break the wall, and then the tiles will be dealt, and they'll eventually be in everybody's rack. And then this is what you would see from a bird's eye view of the table. So you can see there's a short wall in front of East right here. And then we have a short wall in front of North. This would be North. And then across from East is West, and that's the third wall. So second wall is North, third wall is West, and then the fourth wall is Souths, East, South, West, North. That's how the seats work. East, South, West, North. So each one of these walls, you use them to help you compartmentalize the tactics, but also pace yourself in the game. There are some milestones that you can use with these, and that is I cover in another nitty-gritty live stream. With this one, we're just going to talk about the tactics themselves, not so much the milestones. That might, well, this is temporary. So we're just going to take it day by day because they're not always here. So we're just going to keep going. But thank you for the suggestion. It's eat soup with nuts. That's the mnemonic that my mom taught us when we were growing up. Eat soup with nuts. Somebody said, some other people say eat soup with noodles, but I like the eat soup with nuts because it's nuts. It's kind of kooky. So eat soup with nuts, that's the way I learned it growing up and the way I teach it. Eat soup with nuts. All right, so next, during the Charleston, there's a set of tactics, and I'm going to give you my top 3 hand development tactics to simplify the Charleston. The begin game is after East discards the first tile. So with the begin game, that's going to be about the first 7 picks. And there's a reason for that. This is where you just finish the Charleston, you assess your position, you try to make a little bit of headway in those first 7 picks, and then you're in the middle game, which is going to be the next 40 tiles. And then finally the end game, which will be the final 40. So it's 7, 40, 40, thereabouts. I think it might be because you start at 99 tiles remaining. So it's an estimate, and it's not meant to be exact. It's kind of just a ballpark, I guess you could say. So we're going to start with why this matters. It's going to help you increase your focus. It's also going to help minimize being overwhelmed, and it's going to improve critical thinking. These are the primary benefits of using this strategy by Wall, because it uses compartmentalization. You divide the game into parts. That's where the minimize the feeling of overwhelm comes in. Also, it helps you with laser focus based on the wall in play. And because the tactics are compartmentalized, it'll help you with critical thinking as well. So it is a fantastic strategy because of these 3 benefits: increase focus, minimize feeling overwhelmed, and improve critical thinking. In Mahjong, the compartmentalization is done by adopting tactics based on the wall in play. So we're going to start with the Charleston. I want to give you my top 3 tactics because that's going to simplify the process. The purpose of the Charleston is to accelerate hand development. You want to speed it up. If you think about it, you're getting 3 picks at once in each pass. So think about the pick and discard phase of the game. You get 1 tile at a time, but during the Charleston, you get 3. So think of each incoming pass as 3 picks from the wall. It's kind of an equivalent, I guess you could say. The idea is that you want to improve your dealt hand by participating. And if you participate fully, you're going to get the most benefit because you can exchange up to 21 tiles in up to 7 passes. And I use the phrase up to because sometimes people will stop the Charleston. And there are a lot of reasons and debates on that part of the game. We're not going to go into that today. I have a video called Exercising Charleston Options that goes into when, why, how, and whatnot about the Charleston and how to exercise your options wisely. So look for that in the Skills and Strategies Matrix, which you can find a link for that in the video description. So the whole purpose of the Charleston is to expedite hand development. Here's the 3 tactics. The first one is to optimize. This means that you're going to target pair pung kong, depending on what you have. In this case, we have 1 bam, 3 dot, 5 dot pairs. So those are the multiples. Pair pung kong, it's any 2 or more identical tiles in a block. That is a multiple. So you want to target multiples to optimize hand development. And there's a reason for that. Now, with this example, you might think, let's play little odds, 1, 3, 5. That's probably what I would focus on. But you could also do 2, 3, 4, 5 or 3, 4, 5, 6. You could maybe even do both of them for a while, but you'd have to let something go. Maybe the white dragon and keep the 3. Even if you do 1, 3, 3, 5, that 3 crack is not helpful in this case. So here's why targeting multiples is one of my top 3 tactics. It's because of the design of the American Mah Jongg game. 84% of the hands on the card use big multiples. A big multiple is a Pung Kong quint. Primarily Pung Kong make up most of the hands. 84%. That is significant. Pairs, what I call little multiples, are in 61%. So every hand on the card requires at least singles and pairs, and then it grows from there into Pung Kong quint. So by targeting the multiples, you're going to optimize hand development just by nature of the design of the game. Focus on multiples. Now, as you're passing, make sure that you're mitigating risk, and you're also thinking about bettering your own potential. So you want to hold both one suit and mixed suits. Most of the hands on the card are in mixed suits, 69% compared to 27. So whatever category you're focused on, keep those to give yourself the most fodder to work with. But you also want to mitigate risk in your passes. The next tactic is to maximize. This is when you use most of your tiles. So you look at your hand and you see, you don't need to count per se, just take a glance of the lay of the land and then choose a category that will use most of your tiles. This is a great tactic to use if you have no multiples, because if you have a multiple, you want to optimize by targeting that multiple, and then even maximize by using most of your tiles to support that multiple. If you don't have multiples, just look for the predominant pattern and choose a category that can use most of your tiles. Okay, we have a new channel member, Sandra. Thank you for becoming a channel member, for supporting MAHJLIFE. That's Lucky. He's our welcome wagon. So welcome. All right, so now maximize. Focus on a category that uses most of your tiles. That's the maximize tactic. The next, here, our example, we could do 2, 3, 4, 5, or we could do 3, 6, 9. Sometimes you could do one or the other, and sometimes you can hold tiles for both to a point, because you still have to pass during the Charleston. So mitigate risk and go with your strongest option. I should put that the other way. Focus on your strongest option and mitigate risk with your leftover tiles. Then if a multiple forms, target the multiple, reassess completely, keep the tiles that can be used with your multiple. In this case, 3, 6 came in, so 3, 6, 9 would be the way to go instead of 3, 4, 5, 6. The next tactic is to streamline. This is when you leverage efficiency. So with American Mah Jongg, that means consecutive run. And there's a reason for that. Consecutive run is a powerhouse category. It is powerful. And this is why. In this example, we could do 2, 3, 4, 5, streamline by playing consecutive run. We have 3s that came in, so we're going to focus on 2, 3, 4, 5 and streamline. You could still maybe do 3, 6, 9, but if you streamline, you're going to have a lot more flexibility. Here's why. In the consecutive run category, there are 11 hands. 11 hands. But there are consecutive runs elsewhere on the card, not just in that category. With that in mind, you also can leverage tile efficiency. This is a hand development technique that applies when playing any hand with components that form a consecutive pattern. The power of tile efficiency is agility. Think about a running back. I'm not into football very much, but my brother was a running back. Swift, tight and tiny, agile, hard to catch. So with consecutive run, the reason why it's so powerful is because there are 3 suits numbered 1 through 9. Now, there are no hands that span the full 9 numbers. They span 5, up to 5, mostly 3, 4, 5 from year to year. But having that ability to select where you begin your range, that is the beauty of consecutive run. You get to choose where to start your run. And if you think about the numbers 1 through 9, you can go up or down that range. So with a 1, you can go up. It's pretty tight. You can just go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From 2, you can go down 1 and up 4, and so on until you get to the middle of the range. 5 is the most efficient tile. So if you're playing consecutive run, try to drive your range to 4, 5, 6, because you have that greatest flexibility. And then the closer you get to the other side of the range, the tighter your flexibility there, or the less flexibility. So 9, you can only go down. So think about that and try to drive the range to the center if you can. So here's a hand as an example of efficiency. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in dots, pair 3, pair 5. We have a 1 bam pair, 9 bam, 3 crack, and then a dragon and a north. So the multiples here, if we're going to optimize, would be 1, 3, 5. Maybe we could play little odds, but if we want to streamline, we would play 2, 3, 4, 5, or 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have more flexibility. You may or may not be able to use the dragon, but using or choosing to play consecutive run will give you that tile efficiency as a bonus. You have greater flexibility, lots more options than 1, 3, 5. If you're able to stack those 3 tactics that I shared, optimize by targeting multiples, maximize by using most of your tiles, and streamline by playing consecutive run, you'll have a power play. And you could have a very good chance of setting yourself up for success by the end of the Charleston. So those 3 tactics, remember them: optimize, maximize, and streamline. We're going to play with robots through the Charleston, and then we're going to circle back for more of strategy by wall. I'm going to share my screen again with this. We're going to go up here. We're going to play with robots. Does anybody have any questions so far about the tactics? Here is the wall. No, that's not the one I want. This one. All right, here we go. Hello, Tracy. Welcome. Okay, so here's our first hand, this game. And we're going to go through the Charleston, then we're going to circle back because we're going to talk about the next phase of the game, which is the begin game. So here we go. We want to get a lay of the land. We have 3, 4 bam, 1, 4 crack, 3, 4, 8, 9 dot, red or green, red, north, pair, west. So we have 1 pair, 1 multiple here, the north. So if we're going to optimize, we need to target that north. If we're keeping the north, I would keep the west. Now the dragons, maybe not, because there's only 1 hand with winds and dragons, the second hand from the bottom. I don't want to nail myself to 1 hand, and we have no flowers. If you have a gap, don't even think about it. So we want to hold tiles that we can use with that pair because we're going to optimize. So I see a lot of 3, 4 in here. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4. That would be a predominant pattern. And then I would discard probably 1, 8 with a dragon. So we're going to do north maybe with 3, 4 of some kind. And you don't even pick a hand. You don't have to pick a hand. All we're doing is gathering tiles to be used with the strength of the hand. The strength of the hand is going to be optimize, maximize, or streamline. And in this case, we're optimized and streamlined. We're not maximized. 7. We are maximized by 1 additional tile. So let's just see how this goes. It'd be nice if we can get a power play. We got a 6, 8. Now you might think, okay, why not switch to evens? I would not switch to evens because we have no 2. That's a gap. However, we do have tiles we can pass, so we don't have to pick a hand. We maybe could play evens if we get twos, but anytime in your mind you say the word if or I hope, that's a long shot. So don't bank on it. Here we picked up a 3-4. This is when you reassess. We have no 2. I would play 3-4 of some kind. So we have tiles we can pass. Now 1-6-8 and 1 suit, that's going to be a little bit risky. So we could mitigate the risk a little bit by maybe letting the West go, keep the 6, pass the West, mitigate the risk. Without the other wins, the West really is not going to be helpful with a 3-4 pair there. So we're looking for 3-4 and we're gathering. We're not picking a hand. You don't need to pick a hand till you run out of discards. Right now, we've got plenty of discards. So now we have 2-3-4 here. 2-3-4, 3-4, 3-4. We have 2 discards. This is when you pick a hand because we only have 2 tiles to pass. Do we want to keep going? Absolutely we do, because we've got tiles to pass. I would break up the north and target the 3-4. So we're going to break up the north and pass 6-9. So you can break up multiples. Sometimes you're not going to be able to use them all. Without a south, that pair north is not going to be helpful. And we don't have enough multiples or big enough multiples to play a quint. I wouldn't consider, for example, the second quint here with a pair of north and pairs of 3-4 and 1 joker. I would not play a quint here. I would break up the north and focus on 2-3-4. So we have that 2 in there now, 2-4 crack. Now we also have a 6 here. There was an 8 going around and I don't remember the suit. I believe it was an 8 band. We could maybe play the second hand down under consecutive run. 2-4 crack, 4-6 band, 8 dot Kong. We have no 8 dot. That's a gap. So I'm not even going to consider that. We're going to let it go. It's not in here. It's a long shot. I would rather pass defensively. Keep going and see what else comes in. And I wouldn't pick a hand. We don't need to pick a hand. I know the urge is there, but don't do it. You don't need to pick a hand. Your goal is to find tiles to pass. Once you find tiles to pass, move on. You don't need to pick a hand because it could change. It could change in one pass. Your hand can change. So if you spend all that time looking at the card for a hand, it's in vain because the next pass coming in could totally change it. And then you just did all that agonizing for nothing. So here we have tiles to pass. We don't need to pick a hand. We're just going to wait and see what comes in. We're gathering fodder. You're gathering tiles. We did get 8s, but it's not been helpful. They've been trickling in and out. And a 6 also has been trickling in and out. Because there's a gap, I would not play 2-4-6-8. There's no 6. We have a much better choice with streamlining consecutive run. 2-3-4-5 of some kind, probably. We have no 5, but we do have an option with 2-3-4. So now we've got a 5, and there's a 1 in there too. We're going across. We have 2 clear discards here, 6-8. We have 3-4 bam, 3-4 crack, 3-4 dot, 5 crack. I think I would let this 1 go. Let's see. I think I would let the 1 go, and I'll tell you why in a minute. We're going to pass 3. There's a few hands we could play here. Really 2. See if we can get another keeper. No, that's all right. Okay, so we have 3-4 bam pair, 2-3-4-5 in cracks, 3-4 in dots. If this were my hand, I would probably consider 2-3-4 single pair Kong, 4th hand down, but I would also consider 3-4-3-4-5 concealed. 3-4 bam, 3-4 dot, 5 crack pair concealed. So that means that we have 2 hands with 3 discards, 3 clear discards. I would say that was a good Charleston. And we're going to talk now about the results and how to assess how you did and what that means to the way you play the game going forward. So just remember, we have 3 discards and 2 potential hands. If we were to pick a hand, we would have five discards, 6 discards this way, or we could do, 6 discards either way, with either way we go. So let's now go back to the presentation, and I'm going to tell you what you can do with that information. So let me stop sharing and get this where it needs to be here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. Leverage the power of position, risks, and expectations. After the Charleston, if you have more than 4 discards, you're likely an underdog. We had 6 discards because we have 2 different options, and for both we have 6 discards. So we're going to be an underdog, even though we have no gaps for one of the 2 options. If you have 4 discards, you're likely a contender. And if you have fewer than 4 discards, you're likely a front runner. What that means is that you can take a relative amount of risk as you develop your hand. So if you're an underdog, you're going to take a low risk approach. If you're a contender, you can take on more risk. So you want to do a moderate risk approach as you further develop your hand. And if you're a front runner, regardless of risk, expedite hand development to keep in front. You want to stay in the lead. Any questions about position? Underdog, contender, front runner. We're an underdog right now. And we're not going to look at these. I do have some example. Well, let's just look at a couple of examples, actually. Here, we're in between 1, 2, 3, 4 hands. This player's an underdog. We're an underdog too, because we're in between. Anytime you're in between categories or hands, consider yourself an underdog and take a low risk approach. Don't claim any discards until you have a stronger hand, or until you pick one hand that is your strongest option. Then you can take more risk. Here's another example. We've got year number 4 concealed. We have a gap, no 6 or no south. And then we have a no 2 band for the year block. We have 5 discards. So this player is an underdog until their hand is more developed. Here we have odds number 1, no gaps for that hand. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 multiples. They have 4 discards, so they're a contender. Here's another example. And this is the hand we're playing right now. Single pair Kong, or maybe the concealed hand. If they play the concealed hand, they would have 5 discards. So they would maybe be a contender, probably more of an underdog until they get more keepers, maybe until they get a 9 crack in their hand, because they need that to be a pair. And then here, if they played single pair Kong, they could be a contender because they have only 4. For this one, consecutive run number 7, Pung, Pung, Kong, Kong, 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 5 discards, but they have a pair that they might be able to use as joker bait, which is not, it's a hit or miss tactic, but when it works, it's fantastic. It's got like an 8.6% success rate. We're doing an analysis on it, and it's 8.6%, which is not ideal. It's not good. This player, I think, would still be a contender, though, because they're playing a Pung Pung Kong Kong hand. They have a joker. They need one good pick, and they'll have a very strong potential to win, because they're ready to Pung 1, 2. They could Kong 3 or 4, and they just need one more good pick to be able to Kong the other one. So they're very close. Here's evens number 2, second hand down. This player is set. They have 3 discards. They could we have pair, pung, Kong. They could pung the 4, pung the 6, and Kong the 8. That is my definition of set. They're a front runner. 3 discards. Less than 4, you're a front runner. So that means you can take on risks. You can even claim a discard with that joker and not worry a bit because you're probably out in front. You can take on that risk and stay out in front by expediting hand development, calling discards to complete your exposures and further develop your hand. So now we're going to go back to Mahjong Time. And we're going to play now in the begin game, the first 7 picks. So we're going to go down to 81 tiles. We're going to start by discarding this 1 dot. Sorry about the noise.
1 dot.
Okay, so we're looking at 3, 4, 3, 4, 5 or 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just going to wait and see what happens. We've got 2 clear discards. We're an underdog.
Bamboo.
Okay, so let's discard the 9. There's
9
a 2.
bamboos.
We have 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. So we're just going to keep gathering. I wouldn't make any changes yet. 2 crack pair.
3 characters.
We may or may not even be able to use that. We're going to pass. One thing I was thinking is we could do 2,
7
3, 4
bamboos.
single pair Kong, 4th hand down. But we don't need to pick a hand because we still have a
9
discard.
bamboos.
So it's okay to consider a
5
couple of
characters.
options, but try not to focus too deeply because it could change. For example, if we're to play that closed hand, the
6
concealed
characters.
hand in that category, one of our tiles just went out, 5 crack. So we're just
4
going to keep an eye on discards. We're not going to call anything, and we're just going to wait it out because our hand is not strong enough to call. We're an underdog. So we need to wait and gather until we have a
9
stronger
dots.
hand.
8 characters.
Okay, we're going to go 2 more picks, and then we're going to go back to the presentation for the middle game. We're
1
still
dot.
in the begin game by 2 picks,
8 characters.
and we're just going to hang tight until we have more fodder.
8 bamboos.
Okay, so now we have a 1, 2, 3,
6
4.
bamboos.
So we now have the option for the first hand under
4
consecutive run.
characters.
1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a pair in that hand, so we're just going to pass.
5 dots.
We still have not picked a hand. We have all keepers at the moment.
9 characters.
A flower. Okay, so with a flower, I don't think with these tiles that's going to work for us though. 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. I would let it go. I think we have more options without a flower. There are
Wow.
2 hands there that use
9 characters.
a flower. We could maybe have done 1,
2
2,
dots.
3, 4, 4,
Call.
but we would break up the 2.
5
We would
dots.
need a quint of flowers. No. Oh, so now on our next
6
turn, we're going to
characters.
go, we're in the middle game. So we're going to go back to the presentation and talk about the middle game.
4 dots.
So we're just going to wait this out. Let's see what we
Draw.
pick. Oh, we got skipped. Okay. Now there, we can do a joker exchange.
9 dots.
7 dots.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's do a joker exchange. 2. Let's do this one
1 dot.
and this one.
4 dots.
And now we're going to totally switch our hand now that we have the jokers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 suit, first hand, or 3, 4 of some kind. We could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, leverage all 3 multiples. We have 5 discards or 4 discards. So now we're a contender. And we have jokers. We're going to discard, which will leave us with 3 discards. We are a front runner. We went from underdog to front runner in 1 turn, primarily because we got jokers out of it. So let's go back to the presentation. And I'm going to show you about assessing your position. So if, let's see, we just went through this. So hold on 1 second. We already went through that. Hold on. I forgot to. We just went through the begin, or we just went through the begin game. So let me get this going here. Hold on. Sorry about that. 1 second. Current slide. Here we go. Oh, it's this one. Okay. So trust the process with this strategy by wall. You got to trust the process. It works. So we just went through the begin game, that first 7 picks. During that process, you want to be committed to one category by the end of that wall. And we're playing consecutive run. We've got a power play. We're optimized by targeting multiples. We streamlined, so because we're in consecutive run, and we were using most of our tiles. So we had that power play there. You want to count your discards. So we have, after we discard, we'll only have 3 discards. So we're going to be a front runner after the begin game. If you have more than 4, you're still an underdog. Take a low risk approach. If you have 4 discards, you're a contender. And if you have fewer than 4, you're a front runner. So you want to push to win regardless of risk. Also, think about what your opponents are doing. You want to watch their discards, the first 4. Usually those are going to be tiles that they didn't want during the Charleston. But you also want to try to identify what category that they're playing or what category they're not playing is what that's going to tell you. If they're discarding those tiles, those first 4 to 7, that's going to tell you what categories they're not playing. If you can, redeem jokers, just like we did. The red flags would be any opponent making an exposure. They likely have a well-developed hand, or they're an orca and they're pushing to win, even if there's risk in their hand. Also, watch their discards, especially now as we're going into the middle game. So this is where we are right now. We are in the middle game. We're going to talk about the middle game now. You want to look at your progress. We made progress big time. We went from an underdog to a front runner. After we discard, we're only going to have 3 discards and we have a hand with no gaps. 1, 2 crack, 3, 4 bam. So we went from underdog to front runner. If you're still an underdog, you just take a low risk approach until you have a hand that is stronger. No gaps, few weaknesses, which would be if you're playing, like we were looking at maybe 2, 4, 6, 8, and we had no 6. For a while, we had no 2. So that would be an example of a gap. If you have a gap, you're going to be an underdog. If you have about 4 discards, you're going to be a contender, so you can take on more risk. If you have fewer than 4, that means that you can expedite hand development regardless of risk. So this is where we are in the game. We're in the middle game after those first 7 discards, where you're just getting rid of the discards that you didn't want after the Charleston. You're trying to get just a few more keepers. Then we're in this middle game part. So here are the tactics for the middle game. You want to think about whether or not to claim a discard. Do it when you're ready to commit. In our case, we are, because we're a front runner. We can commit. We've got no gaps. Confirm that you're playing an exposable hand, because if you accidentally claim a discard and you're playing a concealed hand, you're going to have to switch your hand. Commit to a single hand by at least 60 tiles remaining. That will be the middle of the middle game. You want to make sure that you're not spreading yourself too thin in this part of the game. So give yourself the first half of that wall to continue to gather, and then just pick one particular hand to zero in on and focus. Try to be ready to win by the end of that 3rd wall. Make sure that you're watching your opponents with their discards and also their exposures. Try to figure out what they're playing. If an opponent has jokers, try to leave at least 1. The opponent that we were looking at, they had 2, but we were in the begin game. So it's a little risky taking both jokers, but I think we're going to win before they get to a ready status anyway. So I think we have a good chance to stay in front, and that's why I took the risk. Discard risky tiles by the end of the third wall. The tells during this part of the game would be a post-exposure discard, because typically players have keepers at that point. The red flags are going to be if any opponent discards a joker. That's going to tell you that they're either waiting on a pair or single, or maybe they're playing a big hand, like in the single and pair category. All right, so now we're going to go back to Mahjong Time, and we're going to play through the middle game. Now, the middle game is going to be right about by this 5 crack, this wall right here. So basically, you just take the space that's left of this wall, and you use that as a gauge. So this many tiles, the tiles that would be used to replace that space, would be right about, I would say, let's see, right about the 8 crack maybe, or the 1 bam. It's an estimate. So let's say the 1 bam would be, oh, actually we want to go this way. So it is around the 5 crack. So right here, that is the end game. So you look at this space, and then you kind of place it over the tiles to see how long that wall would be. You got to train your eye to do it. I was going on the other side, so that was my bad. So this amount of space would go for this set of tiles right here. So this wall is the end game. So from like the 5 crack over, so from the 5 crack to the left, that is the middle game. So we're going to keep an eye on it. If you don't know what hand you're playing, you would want to know what hand you're playing by the middle of that 3rd wall. So that would probably be about right by the 7 bam. So you need to know what hand you're playing by that midpoint, the middle of the middle wall. We already know what hand we're playing, so we're ahead of the game right there. So now let's discard.
3 dots.
And we're actually set here.
6 bamboos.
We could pung and kong every block here. So we're set.
6 characters.
Let's just see what happens. It's not a guarantee that we
8
will win
dots.
here. Now, I don't know if you've noticed here, but our opponent across from us is playing 1, 2, 3,
7
4 in 1
characters.
suit, second hand from the bottom. They
Huh.
need 2 dots,
dragon.
and they have none. They're playing a gap hand. So they're going to need 3 jokers for their 2. That's not going to happen. I seriously doubt that
3
will happen.
characters.
So we picked up a pair of 4s,
9 bamboos.
picked up a pair of 4s here, and we're going to hold that for joker bait, but it probably won't work out. This player to our right, it looks like they're playing
3
either a
dots.
year hand or maybe like numbers with 2s. And we don't know what
5
this player on the
characters.
left is doing.
8 dots.
So like numbers with 2s, they may have our 2 crack.
9 dots.
North wind.
Oh, another 4 crack. We're going to
6
stick with it
dots.
though. We have a hand with no gaps. We're set.
5 characters.
This is not going to give us anything. These
5
are just
characters.
safe discards.
2 characters.
All right, let's pung.
Pung.
We're at 60 tiles remaining. That is the midpoint. You want to know what hand you're playing at this point.
4 characters.
60 tiles remaining.
Red dragon.
That's a good time to drill down to 1 hand.
5
Let's
dots.
see. Right around the 7 is where I was thinking. It's kind of a,
5
there's
bamboo.
2 picks on either side of that number when you're looking at those milestones.
1 dot.
So now we're just waiting for our tiles or jokers.
9 bamboos.
There's a 1 crack out right here.
South wind.
So it's not going to hinder us at all.
9 characters.
This player with a 7 They probably won't be using that.
5 bamboos.
They could be playing big odds. Oh, there's a 5 right there,
Southwind.
though.
Red dragon.
Okay, so we're going to go down to 41 tiles remaining. That's the begin game,
8
or the middle game.
characters.
We're in the middle game right now. Okay, we don't want to hold an 8. This player,
8
we don't know what they're
bamboos.
doing on the left.
1 bamboo.
So we're going to go one more
3
pick.
bamboos.
Okay, that's a Kong for us.
Kong.
We're going to risk that joker. It's fine because we're
4
actually
characters.
set. We're 1 away from ready, and we're still in the middle game. It'd be really
6
nice if we can be ready to win by 41 tiles remaining. That
6
would be
characters.
ready to win by the end of the third wall. And here we are coming up
5
on
bamboos.
that point right now. So we're going to pause because we're now, after we discard, we're going to be in the end game, the last 4 or the last 40. So we're going to go back to the presentation. Because now we're going to talk about the end game. 40 tiles remaining. You want to continually assess your potential to win based, and then consider what you're seeing at the table as well, because that will impact your ability to win sometimes. Calculate your odds of completing your hand. You want to look at the number of picks left in the wall, and then the number of discards in your hand. In our hand right now, we have 1. So we have a very good chance of winning this game. You also need to look at the number of tiles you need that are out on the table, the discards and exposures. So right now, the 1 crack is out. That's it. The rest of our tiles are not out yet. So you want to think too about your opponents. What is their potential to win? Calculate the odds of them completing their hand if you know what they're playing. Look at the number of picks from the wall. Look at the number of tiles in your hand that they may need, and then the tiles they need that are visible on the table, because that's going to keep them from winning if you're able to hold those and visualize those, because they can't take those tiles that are already discarded or in your hand that you're maybe keeping. So you want to think about each pick in discard in the end game. You don't want to discard the winning tile. So you want to think about the risk level of each pick. From a high to low risk, if there are no tiles out for whatever you pick, that is going to be a very risky tile, highest risk. If there's 1 tile visible, it's a lower risk, and so on. A joker is the only truly safe discard. Even if you discard a tile where you can account for 3, somebody could still be ready to win on a single tile on this year's card. So think about the risk level of every pick. The red flags here would be an opponent making exposure. That is a sign that they're playing to win in the end game. If somebody makes an exposure in the end game, they are playing to win. You should assume that they're a front runner also. Now, they could be an orca. Orcas tend to play to win even if they have a gap or even if they have a low potential to win. So there could be some bluffing going on there with an orca. So think about that. Also, at this point in the game, to a greater extent, a post-exposure discard is going to be meaningful. Now, it could be, no, I would stand by that. It will be meaningful because they probably have keepers or option tiles. So it could tell you what they need to win. If you see what their exposures are, what they've been discarding. So let's see what happens now. Oh, and also if an opponent discards a joker, that could indicate that they're either ready to win on a single or pair tile, but it could also mean that they're breaking up their hand and they're folding. And you can typically see that differentiation there of whether they're playing to win or whether they have folded by their body language if you're in person. We don't have that benefit online, but if you're in person, typically you will see some change in their body language or micro expression if they have folded. And you can use that to your advantage. Because if they fold, then you don't have to worry about discarding a tile for what you think they may have been playing. So at this point, we're going to come back. We're not going to fold. We're going to play to win. So we're going to come back to this right here. Okay. So I am going to go to Mahjong Time again, and we're going to play this out.
North wind.
We're playing to win. We have one discard.
3 characters.
There's one joker open. This is 3-man.
North wind.
We're looking for a 1 crack or a 4-man.
2 characters.
We have it right here. This player to our right, I think, is playing like numbers, and
North wind.
they're not going to do well at all.
West wind. 3 characters.
This player to our left might be trying for east-west
6 characters.
with Kongs. So a 6-8 offsuit is going to be risky. There's 8 dots here.
7 bamboos.
I don't see any 6 dots.
7 dots.
I think 6 dots are what they're holding. East,
Flower.
west with 6 dot.
7 bamboos.
The 7 dots are out. We don't need to worry about that.
7 dots.
7 dots. 1 character.
Okay, Pong.
Pung.
All right, we're ready to win on a 4-band.
4 characters.
5 bamboos.
2 jokers open.
8 dots.
Okay, that's what I think. Oh, 6 dot. I think they need a 6 dot.
Red dragon.
If we draw a 6 dot, that's going to be risky, but I would do it. We're
9 dots.
ready to win, and you have to decide if you're going to play to win, and then you just need to accept the consequences
3
if you
dots.
discard a risky tile. Okay, so they didn't take the
7
3
bamboos.
dot.
Eight bamboos. 3 dots.
Flower. East wind.
Pung.
East west.
Flower. Green dragon.
So we need 1 crack 3-band self-pick joker exchange, or
White
joker
dragon.
exchange, win by joker exchange, basically. That would be nice.
South wind.
8 characters. 9 characters.
5 dots.
Okay, come on now. Make quicker decisions, please, these robots.
1 character.
Oh no, they got a joker.
6 dots.
Uh-oh. Oh, they didn't take it.
4 bamboos.
Okay, there's our win. Mahjong. We got a win.
Mahjong.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. And these robots are not smart. We're not going to look at their hands because, oh, this player, wait, what are they doing over there? No, we're not going to look. They've got crap. They don't know what they're doing. These robots do not know what they're doing. Okay, now let's talk about folding. If you feel that you have no potential to win, you need to fold. Basically, that just means that you're going to break up your hand and you're going to block your opponents. You're going to keep them from developing their hand. Keep them from winning. You want to prioritize your discards. Break up your hand to discard low-risk tiles. The low to high risk would be 3 tiles visible, 2 tiles visible, 1 tile visible, and then no tiles out. That is the progression. A joker can never be called. So you want to minimize your exposure. Don't claim a discard to make an exposure. Also, observe tells. Think about their post-exposure discard. Think about the way that they're manipulating their tiles. Also, think about this. Keep this visual in your mind when it comes to discarding, or when you pick a tile from the wall and you think about how risky is that and what kind of an impact is it going to make on the table or the game overall. On the left, you have the likelihood, which would be improbable, possible, probable. Improbable would be that risk is unlikely. Possible is risk likely. Probable is risk most likely. And then on the right, we have the impact that it will create if you discard that risky tile. We have acceptable, where people have no exposures yet. Tolerable, where an opponent has one exposure. Unacceptable is where they have 2 exposures. And then intolerable is where they have 3 exposures. You want to stay in the low to medium impact range. Low is preferable. Discard freely if people have no exposures. There's little you can do unless you're very good at reading hands. But if somebody has 1 exposure, even that is difficult. It's when you get to 2 and 3 exposures that you should know what they're playing and stay out of that impact range. Unacceptable and intolerable. You do not want to discard a probable risky tile to somebody with 3 exposures. Just fold. Live to fight another day. The whole reason I share this video, this concept, this strategy by wall, is the smarter you play, the luckier you will be. Think about it that way. Play smart and the luck will serve you best. So now we're going to go back and play more Mahjong with real people. So it's going to be a little bit different of experience. Does anybody have any questions about strategy by wall and the tactics? I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll play with people now. Okay, my computer's moving super slow. Let's hope that that doesn't go into this game. Okay, here we go. This is with people now. And I'm going to talk about these tactics as we go. We're going to talk about position and a little bit about those milestones that I shared. Basically 60, the end of the begin game, and then the midpoint, and then the end of the third wall. We'll talk about those as we go. So we want to target multiples. That would be optimizing. And we can do that right here. 9-dot pung, and then a pair of flowers. Whatever we do, we're going to use those tiles. So with the rest of these tiles, we could maybe even play a quint. I know we have no jokers, but you never know. It could happen to where we build. We've got a big multiple in there. So I would discard the 5, the 4, and the west. You're hearing that by playing to win might mean you throw a Mahjong tile to somebody else. It could mean that, but you've got to be, just when you get to that place where you're going to play to win, you want to take it pick by pick, because if your opponents have exposures where you can identify what hand they're playing, you may want to rethink that, especially if they're playing a high value hand. So there are other considerations. In the case where we were sitting, I knew that our opponents were not going to be able to win based on what was going on at the table. So I was going to play to win regardless because of what I saw at the table, the exposures and the discards. Those robots did not have winning hands by design because they're not smart. We're playing with people now, so we need to think about that going forward though. And we'll talk about it as we go. We have a 6 here. I was thinking about keeping it for maybe a 3-6-9 option. I think maybe we could let the 8 dot go and keep the 6. Let's see if maybe a 3-6-9 hand comes in. There's a 3 and a 7. So we do have some 3-6-9 in here. There's actually a hand that we could play with no gaps. 3-6-9 dragon, second hand from the bottom, under 3-6-9. So I would probably think about that particular option. We have 4 discards, so we don't have to pick a hand. We have another option in there, third hand down. We could also maybe play a quint, the fourth quint. And that would be a long shot because we have just one big multiple in there. Okay, now we have a pair of dragons. So I would let the green dragon go, and I would focus on that second hand from the bottom under 3-6-9. And we're going to keep going. So let's let the dragon go with a 1 and a 9. Yes. I was thinking about that 9 crack. We did give up a 9 crack because there is that fourth hand down under 3-6-9. That green dragon could be useful, but we don't have a 9 bam. We would need that 9 bam. Somebody passed like numbers, and we do not care. And we're not going to pay it forward either, or play it forward. We're not going to pass it forward. We're going to break that up a little bit. Okay, so we do have 6, 7, 9. The 8 we just let go of. I would just stick with this. We have a hand with no gaps. We could do 1, 7, 8, I guess. No, let's do 1, 2, 8. If that 8 dot comes back, we could have a potential 6, 7, 8, 9, which would be streamlining. There it is. So there we have a streamline option, or 7, 8, 9 with flowers. Okay, they want 2. We could do 2. Okay, so we're going to let these go right here. We got the 9 crack back. That's okay though. We don't need it. So I would say we have 4 discards. We're going to be a contender because we have 4 discards in a hand with no gaps. So let's let the 9 go. And this 2 was going around, so it may or may not be good joker bait because it was going around in the Charleston, but somebody could change their hand. So we're just going to hold that 2. Also, 8 dot just went down, so I probably wouldn't play 7, 8, 9 with flowers because the 8 dot is out now. Nobody wants the 1 or the 8.
1 bamboo. 8 characters. 9 characters. 2 dots.
Yeah, there's 2 dot. So that's not going to be helpful at all. We might as well let it go.
2 dots.
The only one of these that is not out yet is this 7
1
dot.
bamboo. 2 characters. 2 bamboos.
Awesome. We needed that because we need pair,
2
pung.
dots.
We need to Kong flowers and we need to pung that red dragon.
2 bamboos.
So we need to keep an eye on red dragons.
3 bamboos. 4 dots.
That was just thrown. Might as well let it go.
4 dots. 2 dots. 7 characters. 6 characters.
Okay, we don't need wins.
North wind.
We need a flower and a 3-dot,
8
ideally.
bamboos.
We could be waiting on a pair. It's not ideal. So it would be very nice to draw a 3-dot. Nothing we can do about it though. We're at the
South
mercy of the
wind.
wall. So we're in the middle game. I'd say that we're a front
8
runner.
dots.
We're a front runner at this point because we did get a keeper, one of our pairs.
9 bamboos.
We do have 6, 7, 8, 9 in there, but 2 8-dots are out. We know what hand, we know the category.
White dragon.
3, 6, 9. We know our hand. We're ahead of the game as far as the milestones. That 60 tile
White
mark, the
dragon.
midpoint.
7 dots.
Okay, so these are all good. We do have 5 through 9
9
there now, but
characters.
there's a pair. There are 2 8-dots out. We have 5 through 9 in dots.
3 bamboos.
It's good to just think about what you have as an option for
8
switching, but I think
characters.
it's too, we have a pretty strong potential for this hand. I would stick
9
with it.
characters.
We really need a 3-dot though before I can
1
rest
dot.
easy here, because that's a pair for us. There
White
are no
dragon.
3 dots out. There's a 3 bam, no 3 crack is out.
2 bamboos.
It looks like somebody, let's see, there's a 9 bam,
9
3 9,
bamboos.
2 9 bams, 3 9, 3 9 cracks are out. We have the 9 dots.
1
So
dot.
somebody could be playing little odds, 1 3 5, or little
3
numbers, 3 4
bamboos.
5 maybe, in cracks and bams, or
3
cracks and
dots.
dots. There's the 3 dot. And a hesitation besides us. So somebody else has a 3 dot.
8 bamboos.
We may not get this hand because somebody
9
has a 3 dot
bamboos.
in their hand based on that hesitation.
4 characters.
I would love to get ready because maybe they'll give up
2
on that hand
characters.
now that a 3 dot is out. Maybe they'll adjust and let it go.
4 dots.
There's a 7.
5 dots.
7 8 9, 6 7 8 9, pung pung kong kong.
5 dots.
We could switch to 6 7 8 9 because of the 3, but we would need
5
2
dots.
jokers for the 8. That's not good. We'd also, let's see, there's 1 7 dot out.
5 characters.
Let's just wait and see.
Kong.
There's a joker open, I think. 5.
5 dots.
I don't see any 5 cracks out.
5 bamboos.
We're still not set. We need a flower and a dragon.
4 bamboos.
4 dots are out.
4 dots. 8 characters. West wind. 5 bamboos.
Okay, we need a keeper. Oh,
5 bamboos.
nobody wants the 7s, I don't think.
6 characters.
So
Green
we're at
dragon.
41 tiles. Now we're going into the end game. We have 3 discards. I would still play to win, but we got to take it pick by pick.
4 characters.
Because this 3 dot, oh look, joker exchange. We're set now.
5 characters.
So now I would play to win. We're
8
ready to
dots.
Kong the flower, pung the dragon, and then we'd be ready on the 3. Unless
3
we,
dots.
okay, now there we go. There it is. We need to pass. So maybe that 3 was this player to
Green
our
dragon.
right. So we're at risk, but we still may be okay. We're just going to take it pick by pick.
East wind.
There are no flowers out right now.
7 dots.
We have 2 safe discards. Nobody wants either
2
one of these.
characters. 3 characters.
Oh,
Pung.
Okay, so three, they must be doing
North
2, 3,
wind.
4, 5. They have a 4 in front of them. 3 crack pung.
7 bamboos.
They must be doing
7 bamboos.
3 crack pung. Oh, nice.
7 dots.
We're still not out of the woods because of this 3 dot here.
6 dots.
Now, if the 3 dot goes down, we'll just fold and block.
Palm.
And do we have recourse? Well,
3
we kind of
characters.
do. We could switch to the quint.
7 bamboos.
Okay, we're going to switch to the quint.
6 dots. 6 dots.
Now we're going to discard that 3 dot.
3 dots.
And we're going to quint now.
6 bamboos.
So now we're solid on the quint. It's indestructible.
7 characters.
3. Oh, they're playing the dragon hand. 3rd hand down. They have our dragons.
6 bamboos.
So this player's doing the dragon hand. That's why we had a hard time getting the dragon.
East wind.
Yeah, 1, 3, 5 dragon. Oh, they got it. All right, well done. Well done there. And the 3 dot was being held by the person across from us. So I'm glad we switched to the quint. Here's 1, 3, 5 dragon. Over here, they're playing 3. They were holding the 3 dot. So if they were trying for probably news concealed, or maybe they broke up their hand. Here, news with dragons. We switched to a quint. Our tile was in the wall. Here's this player with dragons right there. All right, so now we're going to play again. That was interesting. And why you should think very carefully about making an exposure with 2 jokers in the end game, because we switched to a quint. Even though we didn't make it, it's still very risky to do that. Okay. All right, we have a friend at the table, so we'll see what happens here. Misty, I don't know if you're here, but kudos on the win. We're waiting for a player. Explain jokers at the end as a risk. Well, when you make an exposure in the end game with 2 jokers, anybody with those tiles could make a switch them for their hand like we did. We went from 3, 6, 9 to a quint by taking those jokers. That's an example of the risk. Oh, you're welcome, Misty. Okay. So let's see what happens now. So we want to target multiples, and we do have them, 7, 8. So we're going to play some kind of a 7, 8, 9. So here's a 7, 8. We could do 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe. We could do 5, 6, 7, 8. And I would just leave the rest for options. Maybe if we get an east, west, we could do east, west with 7, 8. So let's pass 1, 2, 4. So we're going to play some kind of a 5, 6, 7, 8 or 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're not going to pick a hand. We're just going to gather. We got little numbers. There's a dragon. Here's 1, 2, 3. That's a bit risky there. I think what I would do, I think I would keep the 2 and let the dragon go. Okay, there's 8, 9. 7, 8, 9 of some kind. So our trend is going up. So I would let the 5 go. Let's do 5, 2, and then we need to let something go here. We do have 6, 7, 8 mixed suits, but we have no flowers. I think what I would do is let the 6 go in this one. 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, east, west. No winds have come around though. 1, 2, 4. Little numbers are going around. That means everybody's holding big numbers. So 3, 4. I think we should just stick with it. 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. 7 band pair. I think we can let the 9. Oh no, somebody left. Oh well. Okay. There's a big number. 5, 7. Here's a 7. Okay, now we have a 1, 3, 7, 8, 9, 5, 7, 9. Nothing to go with it though. I would stick with 7, 8, 9 of some kind here. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 5. Might as well pass this on here. Two bam, red 4. They want 3. I would pass 3. I would just break up the 2. Joker bait is not helpful until you get closer to 60 tiles. So I would rather pass fully and see if we can get a keeper. Like maybe a west or a flower. Or a 9 dot. 7 crack 9 dot. We could maybe do the concealed hand. Okay, we got an 8, 9. So I would consider the 4th hand down under consecutive run, but we have 3 discards before we have to decide. We could do 7, 8, 9 single pair Kong, even though we have no 7 crack. That's a single tile that we could happen to come by. So we can just wait it out. We still have potential for 7, 8 with east west, but somebody is playing wins here. Clearly somebody is playing wins.
2 characters.
We don't need a dragon.
4
I like getting rid of year tiles though, as well.
8 dots. 3 characters.
That player left the table.
Two bamboos. 2 dots. South wind. Red dragon.
Okay, we need a good pick.
1 bamboo.
All right, 8.
2 characters.
So at this point, we do have the 8s in each suit. I would keep an eye on the potential for like numbers.
6 dots.
No dragons are out. We have 1.
Joker.
Since we have a pung of 8s, I think I would let the 9 crack go.
2 characters.
Oh, there's a flower. Okay, so that does change things a bit. Let's let the east go.
East wind.
So we have a flower. We have 8s.
6 dots.
I think the
1
dragon
bamboo.
can go unless we play the queen. 7, 8, 9. We have an 8 crack pung. We could do 7.
One
Let's see,
bamboo.
7 band, 8 crack. No, it's really not gelling
South
yet.
wind.
I would be more
8
likely to play like
bamboos.
numbers with 8s. Let's pass. So, hi, you scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, I'm
That's
really out today.
Okay.
Oh,
7 characters.
am I okay to park here?
I don't know where you're parked. I'm in a
Or
live
are you
stream.
gonna-
1 dot.
And just wait and keep your eye on what they need.
Okay.
So you could always go down there and
6
ask them
Okay.
if they need to leave to let you know when you can move your car. Well, take your
3
stuff, put your
bamboos.
stuff down if you don't want to walk around with that. Sorry, my son just got home. We have this construction and there are cars
4
all
dots.
over. It looks like we're having a party, but it even sounds like we're having a party here.
2
They've got
bamboos.
music blasting down there and all kinds of banging
South
around.
wind.
I am really
3
looking
dots.
forward to peeking at what's going on down there. Okay, so I'm thinking like numbers
4
with 8s.
characters.
Oh, there's a 9. Okay, let's let the dragon go.
Green dragon.
All right, so what we could do here is 7, 8, 9 mixed-suit Kongs.
West
Or we
wind.
could do like numbers with 8s. So 7, 8,
West
9,
wind.
like numbers with 8s. We're at 60 tiles. This is when you want to make sure you know what hand you're playing and we're in between.
3 dots.
So we're an underdog until we pick a hand. 7, 8, 9
Green
mixed-suit
dragon.
Kongs or like numbers with 8s. So
Green
really
dragon.
this 7
Flower.
bam can go regardless. I'm thinking 7, 8, 9 mixed-suit Kongs.
White dragon.
There's the 8 crack.
9 characters.
Okay.
North wind. 9 bamboos.
All right, let's Kong.
Kong.
We're going to dig in. It's a little bit risky
8
because
dots.
we need a pair of flowers. That would be a vulnerability right there.
6 characters.
That needs to be a
Red
pair.
dragon.
So let's see if we can pick up a flower. There's 1 out.
6 bamboos. 8 bamboos.
The 7 bam is not out yet. There's 1 joker
6
open.
characters. North wind.
We have a Kong of 8s, Kong 9. We need the 7 dot.
6 bamboos.
I know, flowers.
6 bamboos. 6 characters. 4 characters. White dragon.
We got it.
5 bamboos.
Okay, no worries. Now we wait and gather. We need 7s
East wind.
or jokers. There's 1 open right now.
2 dots. 1 dot.
3. Okay, let's let the 7 go. Let's see what happens
7
here. If we can get a
bamboos.
joker out of that.
Pung.
No. Oh, it's a pure pung. Shoot.
White dragon.
Okay, we're going to disguise our desperation and let this 3 go.
3 characters.
Yeah, joker bait can be a sign of desperation.
9 dots.
So we need,
Joker,
oh man, that is painful. Freaking,
6
robot.
bamboos.
oh, we got another flower. That would
4
be a
bamboos.
weed. We got a weed. We don't need that.
6
Now,
characters.
this player threw 2 flowers and nobody
5
wanted them,
dots.
so maybe we'll be okay to let it go.
5
Let's
dots.
let it go here.
Flower.
Okay, we're good.
East wind. 5 characters. West wind.
Okay, let's see. Let's throw the 1 that's not out.
1 character. Green dragon. 4 dots.
Oh, come on now.
West wind.
9 dots. Okay, we're in the end game. We have
9
5
dots.
picks left. We have 2 discards. I would probably, at
2
this point,
bamboos.
fold
South wind.
unless we get jokers. This player probably is doing like numbers
2
with 7s.
bamboos.
There's 1.
9 bamboos.
Okay, so we can do that.
7
Now-
bamboos.
This player to our left could be doing big odds or
1
like
dot.
numbers with 7s.
4 bamboos. 3
We're just going to
dots.
take it pick by pick. That's out. Nobody wants
8
the north, so
bamboos.
that's a safe discard.
4 characters. 8 bamboos. 9 characters.
4 dot is out.
4 dots.
We have 1 discard and 2 picks.
Joker.
Clearly somebody, okay, now
3
Joker, that would be a
bamboos.
red flag. So they probably folded over here to the right.
2 characters.
2 dot, yeah, 2 are out.
2 dots. 4 dots. 8 dots.
We get 1 more pick. Even still, even if we picked a keeper,
White dragon.
I don't think anybody would throw a 7 dot because it's an
North
unseen
wind.
tile.
Joker.
Uh-huh. Yep, there they are. 7 dot, big odds. They have our 7s. 5, 7, 7, 9. So they had our tiles on the left. That's okay. We came a long way. It was iffy, touch and go, but this is a great place to practice with hand reading and using strategy by wall, learning how to read hands by discards. This is a great platform for all those things. Okay, we're going to try to squeeze in 2 more games. What did they say down there?
They said they're at least going to be sticking around for another hour or so.
Do you need to move your car?
I was going to try to move it to like another place out of the way, but there's nothing really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just going to have to move it when they're ready to leave.
Okay. Okay, we're just waiting for players here. Oh, Misty. Misty, you crazy girl. Okay, here's Misty. Okay, next game. All righty, let's see. We have, ooh, pung sixes, pair of sixes, pair 4, 2, 4, 6, 8 of some kind. I would do a 2, 4, 6, 8 hand. Let's see. 1, 3 east. 1, 6, 7, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 3. We could maybe even force a quint, I suppose. Let's throw the 7. 6, 7. No. All right, here we go. Oh, some kind of 2, 4, 6, 8 or 6, 7, 8 of some kind. We let a 9 dot go because it wasn't really gelling in there. There was a little potential for 3, 6, 9, but I want to leverage the 4 band. We're playing a gap hand at the moment, actually. Let's let the 3 go. Okay, so here, newbie question. What setting do you use to levitate the discard tiles? That is called safe discard, I believe. After this hand, I'll show it to you, but also there is a tutorial for Mahjong Time on my website. We have an east pair in here now. We have 6, 6, 8, 5, 6, 6, 4, 4, 5, 6, 8, 2, 4, 4, 6, 8. We have no 4 crack. 5, 6 east. I think maybe we could play a quint here. Let me see here. I'm going to give you a link to a video. Look what came in, the 4. That filled a gap. So now we can do 2, 4 bam, 4, 6 crack, 8 dot pair. We can keep going and give up on the 6 dots. We could still maybe do the quint. I have a video on a tutorial, or sort of a tour, a Mahjong Time tour. And in there, I show you the settings that I have. So I'll put them in the video description, but you could also find them on my website, but you got to dig for it. So I'll make it available in the video description. I probably should have it in there because I do get questions about it. I should just leave it in there. So 2, 4, 6, 8, number 2. We need 2 bam 4 crack. Those are making us a bit vulnerable because those need to be pairs. Oh, look at that. 2 white. Oh man, that is a risky pass. That's a super risky pass. I think I would maybe give up on the quint and keep the 2. Because we could maybe even do that 2, 4, 6, 8 with 4, 6 in the middle. No, I don't think so. No, we're not doing that. Okay, now let me get this update in here. All right, we got the 8. That's good. Now we can probably break up. Well, let's wait and see how many they want. Let me just make sure this is the right video. They're delaying their offer. That means they probably want 1 tile, and I'm not doing it. I will not pass one tile. So we're going to decline. Okay. So I just added the link to that video in the video description. So maybe after the live stream, you can watch that, but I could also show it to you if we have time. Okay, so let's let this white dragon go.
White dragon. 1 character. Flower.
We need 2 bam 4 crack ASAP.
6 dots.
Okay. Somebody wanted that. There's a 4.
7 dots.
Okay, now we need that 4 and the 2 right away.
6 dots.
Oh, there's the 6 dot. Okay, so we can let that go now.
8 dots.
Oh man, we're gonna need a joker now. There's one. Okay,
6
so
dots.
not a lot we can do though until we get at least a 2 or 4. We need one of these
3
pairs
characters.
in here.
3 dots. One
We need a
dot.
2 bam 4 crack. Let's let the east go.
East wind.
So what can we do with that flower? Not much.
8 bamboos.
Unless we get a 5 dot. If
4
we
dots.
get a 5 dot, we could switch to 4, 5, 6 mixed suit Kongs. 3rd hand down under consecutive run. So we're going to keep the
South
flower
wind.
for a little bit because we have 2 pair and we
East
only
wind.
have singles. That is going to put us at risk.
9 bamboos. 4 characters.
Yeah, that's our pair tile. So we got to keep an eye on that.
8 dots.
Oh, see here. We could switch to 7, 8, 9. Let's, or 6. Oh, we're too late. Man, that was super quick. I was
1
just getting
dot.
ready to click Kong. Oh well. So I would
4
think about.
characters.
Yep. Now there goes the other 4. So I would switch my hand
North wind.
and play 4, 5, 6 mixed suit Kongs. There are 2 8 dots out. 2 4 cracks are out. We have one
Green dragon.
clear discard here. Yeah.
8 bamboos.
So, okay, now what about,
Green
wait,
dragon.
let's see, 4, 6. We could think about the multiplication
bamboos.
hand. It's a long shot because we don't have a 2 4 dot.
2 characters. 7 characters.
We could still circle back to this even hand if we pick up a 4 crack. But we're going to need another joker for that 8.
6 dots.
So we have 1 clear discard, the 3 dot.
7 bamboos.
So we can just wait it out.
Nine bamboos.
We don't need north.
North wind.
I suppose we could have maybe tried for a quint, but there's already a north out.
One dot. 3 bamboos.
Okay, come on now. We need some help. 5 dot would be ideal. Maybe the 7 dot would be helpful.
8 characters.
Another north.
North wind. 9 bamboos. 6 bamboos.
We need some help. We know what hand we're playing. We're still in between until that 4 crack goes down. Oh, wait.
Flower.
Did it already go down? No, hold on. No, there are 2 out.
Red dragon.
So we're still...
Mahjong.
Oh, okay. Who knew? They had only 1 exposure. So I don't feel bad about that. 5779 dragon. Over here, they have a 135, maybe the pair hand. And then over here, 2 3 4 5 dot, 2 3 4 5, or 2 3 4 flower. And that's what we were hoping for, the 5 dot. But our hand got dashed because, well, not yet. We were still looking for 2 4 6 8, but the 2 4 were risky. Okay, so let me exit here and I'll just quickly show you the game settings. If you go to the upper right corner, let me go here. If you go to the upper right corner up here, see my mouse wiggling up here? Right here in the middle is a cog. That will open the game settings. And then in there, you go down to game settings. And this is where you see the options. Safe discard help is where that will help. And then also highlight active discards. So the active discard, the one that was just released or discarded, will show up. And then show tile tooltip. When you hover your mouse over a tile, it'll tell you how many are out. So those are the ones that I recommend. There's a timer warning that could help you as well, so that the game doesn't discard your tile for you. And that's pretty much it. Double click on the tile to discard. I also recommend that. All right, we're going to try to squeeze in one more game. One more game here. Let me sort. I mean, I don't get what. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, you're welcome. So we just wait for players now. We need 2 players. All right, what do we got? We have a pair of 7s and a pair of red dragons. So let's see if we can use both of those. That would be optimizing. Optimize by targeting multiples. So maybe we can do something with 7s. Let's see, with a red dragon and a 7 dot, we could maybe play a big odd hand. Let's start there. 7, 8. I suppose we could hold the 8. Okay, so let's do West 3, 6 for our first pass. Okay, we were targeting the 7 dot and the dragon. Okay, we got an 8 BAM now though. We want to anytime you develop a new multiple, reassess. So we have 7, 8, 7, 8. We've got tiles we can pass, so we don't need to pick a hand. We have 7, 8, 7, 8. I would love to get a 9 crack. If we get a 9 crack, we could maybe do the concealed consecutive hand. We could have a power play there. Dragon, 6 dot. We got a 6 dot. Okay. So let's let the dragon go. We have a 1 BAM here. 5, 6, 7, 8 dragon. Second hand down under consecutive run. So let's let the 7 BAM go. Or we could even break up the 8 and focus on that hand. It's a little bit risky because we need a pair of 5 dots and a pair of 8 dots. And we have singles there. So it is a little bit risky. Let's just hold that dragon. And then we'll let these go here. We're going to keep going. Okay, 6. Let's do 2 with a 7. Okay. So we're probably doing the second hand down under consecutive run. We could maybe even play the consecutive pair hand second from the bottom under singles and pairs and throw away a joker. I typically don't want to do that though because I'd rather use the joker. Let's just pass these 3. That's a great pass. Uh-oh, that's my little dog. Sorry about that. Riley is really stressed out with these people here. Oh, look at the green dragon came in. That's an option. We can pass these 3. A little bit risky, but you want to focus on your own hand first. I would be tempted to play that single and pair hand, but we need another tile in here. We need the 9 dot or a 4 dot. Okay, let's see how many they want. Three. Oh, we have friends at the table. We have Peg, Judy, and a little bit risky here. You know, okay, let's just do it. It's too late. I was thinking we could switch to like numbers with 7s and dragons. There's the 7 BAM. That's okay. We'll be all right. So we're going to be an underdog because we have a gap. We need a 4 dot or a 9 dot or we need to pick a hand because we're in between at the moment. There's a joker, so I wouldn't play a pair hand. I would play this dragon hand, second one down, but we need the 5 dot or the 8 dot before we commit. Either way, we could Kong a dragon. We could Kong a dragon, but ooh, another joker. Oh my goodness. Okay.
6 characters.
We could Kong a dragon, but we need the 5-8 in here before we do. That 5-8 is going to be risky. Oh, no worries, Karen.
1 dot.
Okay. No.
2 characters. 2 characters.
Oh, come on. We need a 5-8. 5-8 dot. We're at the mercy of the wall.
8 characters.
There's the 5. Okay, now we dig in.
7 bamboo.
So we take whatever we can get now. That is playing assertively.
1
That is
dot.
not being desperate. We're not being desperate. We're
7
set.
bamboos.
We could pung 6, pung 7, Kong, red or green.
1 bamboo.
So we bumped up to front runner, and we're
East
going into
wind.
the middle game right now.
2 characters.
Okay,
South wind.
so we're looking for a 6, 7 dot on one of these dragons.
3 characters. 9 bamboos. 7 bamboos.
We need dot.
7 bamboos.
Okay, look at all. Ooh, there's only 2. There's not many dots out
Flower.
there. Okay,
West wind. 9 bamboos.
oh boy.
9 characters.
6, 7 dot dragons.
2 dots.
No, we need dots.
6 characters. 4 dots.
Nobody wanted the 4.
White dragon.
Okay, where are the other dots?
9 dots.
Okay. Okay, we're coming up to the
One
midpoint
character.
of the game now.
1 character. Flower.
Oh, come on now. Somebody wants a flower.
1 bamboo.
Oh my gosh, white dragon. It's already out.
White dragon. 4 characters.
Oh man.
East wind.
Still need that 8 dot pair. That does make me feel a little bit uneasy.
5 dots.
No, we're good there.
North wind.
We've been ready here. Well, set. We're set.
Red dragon.
There we go. Okay, we're gonna Kong,
Kong.
and we'll let the green go.
Green dragon.
Nobody wanted the green dragon.
3 characters.
It'd be ideal to get the 7 dot out, because that could be a couple different hands.
7 characters.
Oh,
2 bamboos.
there's 7 dot. All right,
Green dragon.
so we're ready on an 8 dot by 51
8
tiles.
characters.
So this was a good result. 50 tiles remaining. We're in the middle game still. And we have only 1
9
exposure, so
characters.
nobody knows what we're playing, which is good. We need an 8 dot to win, but somebody might be using the 8 dot. Somebody could be
9
playing
bamboos.
evens in 1 suit, for example, or mixed suits. I see a
South
4
wind.
dot, a 2 dot. I see a couple 9 dots. There are
8
no
characters.
there are no 6 dots out. We have 1. Somebody could
East
be
wind.
playing in our wheelhouse here. And we need a pair.
3 dots.
So this is a risky choice,
Flower.
but you never know. At that point, we were pretty well set at the beginning. And it's hard to know what people are
8
playing
bamboos.
during the Charleston anyway. I knew that big numbers weren't coming around. So
9 dots.
this will be interesting. 2 dots are out.
1 character.
Somebody could be playing 2, 4, 6, 8 and 2 suits.
9 dots.
How many 8? The 8 BAMs are out. 3.
8 dots.
Oh, there it is. Mahjong. We got it.
Mahjong.
Okay. So this player on the left is doing 3, 6, 9. They had 6s. So our 8 came in. 5, 6, 7, 8 dragons, second hand down under consecutive run. Over here we have 2, 3, 4, 5, pung, pung, kong, kong, or maybe 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4, 5 with flowers, third hand down. Over here we have, it looks like a year hand, or maybe like numbers with 4s, perhaps. Over here we have 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9, second hand down, 1 away from ready on that one, which is, they were in a front runner there. But we got there first. Okay, so that's going to do it. And we're right at the top of the hour. So the timing couldn't have been better. Thank you so much for joining me in this live stream. I appreciate you being here with me. Moderators, thank you again for helping monitor the chat in this nitty-gritty format. If you like to hang out and just do gameplay with commentary and chit chat, join us on Friday nights from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's our Simply Social Let's Play live stream. And we'll be back again tomorrow and Wednesday for members live streams. If you're a channel member, you'll be able to participate in those live streams. We'll be back on Thursday for Beat the Pro from 1 to 3. And then on Friday, Simply Social 5 to 6. And then the Beat the Pro Plus 6 to 9 p.m. if anybody wants to try to beat the pro and be eligible to participate in the invitational mini tournaments. There's a question here. What would you have done if you drew another joker previously? Break up the dragon. Let's see. What would you have done if you drew another? Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, now let me understand. So would you have done, what would you have done if you drew another joker? Break up the dragon? You had 3 red dragons and a joker dragon. We had a pair of dragons and a joker. And then a red dragon went down and I took the first one and let the other one go. When you had an equal number of red and green, I just took the first one that went down to expedite hand development. So I just took the first one that came because I don't know what everyone's playing at that point. I just want to expedite hand development. So I took the first one since we had a choice and it was arbitrary which one. Okay, you're welcome. You want to expedite hand development. And the reason we did that is because we had a 5-dot pair. And when you have 2 pair you need in your hand, you should have 1 in your hand. So you should only have 1 vulnerability if you have multiple pairs in your hand, because you could be painting yourself into a corner if you start claiming discards to make exposures. So we had 2 pair in our hand. We needed 2 pair. We had 2 singles. So the moment we had one of those pair in our hand, that's when you can start claiming discards, because then you only have 1 vulnerability. And that is not even ideal. Waiting on a pair, it's risky. And in this case, we got lucky because nobody else was going to need that 8-dot. So it would have come our way regardless. We just don't know when that might have happened. Everybody was in different kinds of hands. We had a consecutive 2 through 5. We had like numbers with 4s, and we had a 3, 6, 9. So we were the only one at the table who needed the 8 in this case, but you never know. All right, so that's going to do it. Thank you for the questions. I love it. Keep them coming. We'll be back again next week for another nitty-gritty Let's Play live stream on a basic topic. Let me tell you what the topic is. I'm going to share I'll share my screen and we'll look at the wiki article here. Okay, so here's my website. Go to the wiki. There's a link in the video description for this too. It's the skills and strategies matrix. So if you just look for matrix in the wiki, you'll see the article right here, American Mah Jongg Skills and Strategies Matrix. And down here is the schedule for the skills and strategies that we cover on a recurring basis. Next week, we're going to be talking about planning discards to simplify. The week after that, planning discards to optimize and sabotage. So the next 2 weeks, we're going to talk about planning discards. So you'll want to join us for that because it's those are really great strategies or tactics, discard planning, basically. So I hope you join us for that. And this article will tell you all about these nitty-gritty Let's Play live streams. Oh, thank you, JL, for joining me at the table. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. We'll see you again tomorrow. For those of you who are channel members, we're going to do the Obsessed tier 1 to 3 tomorrow. Then we'll do the members only on Wednesday. And then we'll be back for Beat the Pro on Thursday. Oh, thank you, Charlotte. I'm glad you're here. Good to have you here and welcome to the game. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Click the little gray bell if you do. That way you'll get notification for when I post new videos and you won't miss an opportunity to learn a new strategy or pick up an insight to the game that could give you an advantage at the table. Between now and the next video, may all your picks be keepers.